I mean, I think we all heard that the NBA season was just around the corner, and the first game was going to be the Knicks versus Celtics, and I think we were all a little excited. The Boston Celtics, the reigning NBA champs, who just brought everyone back for round 2. Their NBA superstars were clowned on since they won, raising their 18th banner on opening night. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks, the team who made the loudest splashes this offseason, re-signing key players and swinging for huge trades to build this god squad to challenge the Celtics. Even with Tingus Pingus himself out for the foreseeable future, it looked like we were about to get a sneak peek into that conference finals series. I mean, dog, I'm a Nets fan, and I was getting ready to watch this game. And yeah, sure, in my friend groups, my Knicks friends have been clowning on me for the Nets giving up Mikal Bridges for a handful of low-valued picks. That the Nets completely flopped with KD, Kyrie, and Harden. But look, Knicks fans, we out here in Brooklyn, we got your back. We made that trade hoping to get a proper rebuild. Meanwhile, you guys make New York proud by finally bringing the Larry O.B. back to New York City. I mean, the Liberty just won their chip. So if the Knicks can win the championship and the Nets get the number 1 pick and draft flag or ace, New Yorkers can rejoice that basketball is back in the city that never sleeps. And look, I'm a diehard Nets fan since like 2006 to 2008. You don't have to persuade me to hate the Boston Celtics. They fleeced the living daylights out of us. Now, I have been working on a Jason Tatum video because I think even as a Nets fan, I can say that some of the NBA media takes on this guy is nuts. But beyond that, just let it be known that I'm always praying for Boston's downfall. So clearly, I got no hardline stance in this opening tip-off game between the Knicks and Celtics. Really was just watching as a casual fan kind of moment. But by that halftime, I was calling, texting, reaching out to any and all Knicks fans I knew, and I was cackling at what was going on. I even joked that at this point, Boston just proved that they were going to repeat, so let's call the season short, give Boston their 19th banner, and we'll run it back for the 2025-2026 season. Meanwhile, thanks to the current standings, the Nets now get 2 high chances at the first round pick this draft. I mean, imagine a world where we get the first and second round pick to get Flag and Ace Bailey. I'm just saying, those 5 first round picks are looking real valuable right now. It would also be insanely valuable if you subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate all the support. But look, in all seriousness, this was probably just a bad night for the Knicks, and I'm certain that they can bounce back. I mean, the Celtics were red hot from 3 to like an unnatural degree. I saw a stat line saying that the Celtics starting 5 scored more points than the total Knicks team. Like 113 to 109. That's some 2K stat line. Boston must have put the difficulty settings to rookie mode and dropped a band on VC to max out their guys. They also got like 29 threes in this game. And what's nuts about that box score was that if the Celtics really wanted to, they could have kept their starters in and continued the absolute dominant performance. The box score might say 132 to 109, but majority of that last quarter was just the bench unit chucking threes, trying to break the 3-point record. The Celtics were missing several possessions in that fourth because they just wanted to rest their starters and give the bench unit some runs. Let that sink in. Boston could have broken the record and continued to turn that blowout win into a massive point differential, and they actively chose to handicap themselves. This is the New York Knicks, whose sole slogan the entire offseason was to re-sign OG and trade the house money for Mikal because they wanted the 2 best 3-and-D players in the league to be able to shut down the Celtics' dynamic duo. Even when Mikal was on Tatum, Tatum was not missing. I was taking some notes while watching. Wasn't intentional, but let me just mention some of the things that I wrote. Tatum scores on Mikal. Brown steals from Brunson. Hockey assist from open Pritchard to a more open White. White 3 again. Tatum again makes a 3 on Mikal. Horford blocks Cat. 80 points at the start of the third quarter. Mikal misses a free throw. Brown got the rebound amongst the Knicks' 5 defenders. Jaylen Brown forces an 8-second turnover. Tatum broke Mikal. Tatum broke Mikal. Tatum deep 3. I think that second to last one was definitely the highlight of the night though. There was a lot going wrong with the Knicks tonight, but the thing everyone's going to be talking about for a while will be the Mikal's performance. I can't recall if he made a single shot in the first half of this game. That he somehow worked on changing his jump shot, and it got worse. I mean, you guys somehow traded Cat for 1 first-round pick, but Mikal took 5? And Mikal somehow broke his jump shot over the offseason? Okay, in reality, it's not that simple. Mikal has always had an issue with his jump shot. Back in Villanova, Mikal had the same hitch in his release on his jumpers. And even in the past season with Brooklyn, Mikal was struggling with his shot. Now granted, a lot of people thought that the issue was that Mikal struggled to be a number 1 option, but I'm not entirely sure if that's the issue. During the third quarter, we saw Mikal get a bounce back where he was just not missing a shot, like consecutive points going Mikal's way. So it was likely an off shooting night, but at the same time, I don't know if that's the full story either. For the first 2 quarters, when Mikal was struggling to find his shot, the Knicks were using their full power. Brunson, Cat, OG, Hart, and Mikal were all on the court, sprinkling in some Jericho Sims and Miles McBride. But when Mikal was finally getting his shots to land, it was all during minutes Brunson and Cat were off the court. Not to mention OG wasn't really scoring great either, but regardless, I do think there are some concerns, at least for this season, of Mikal finding his role. Some reports do suggest that Josh Hart is still trying to find himself in this new offensive and defensive systems the Knicks have thrown themselves into, and it's very likely Mikal is dealing with a similar issue. Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller were mentioning that Mikal felt that the first half he was just getting too much into his own head. And even though this was just a passing comment, it could be true that throughout this season, Mikal may be dealing with that for a while. When should he rise up and play like the 20-point per game scoring machine he was in Brooklyn? When should he fall back and be the role player like in his Phoenix Suns days? How does he fit when it's clear the number 1 and number 2 options are Brunson and Cat? Where does he fit with OG, with Hart, and the others? It's a very fascinating question. And look, obviously I don't think we got the answer, but I do think it's going to take some time before the Knicks really feel like a well-oiled engine. We saw it in the preseason when OG and Mikal would have their hot and cold streaks, and I think it's going to blend more into this upcoming season. But at the end of the day, it's unlikely these Knicks picks are going to be worth anything for my Nets, since I do have hope the Knicks will figure this out and be a serious thorn in Boston's side as the Celtics try to repeat and go on to achieve dynasty status in the history books. Will the Knicks succeed? Who knows? But that'll be one of the more interesting narratives to follow in this very interesting 2025 season. And comment down your own thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, if you want more basketball content, check out this one vid I did on Ben Simmons. And stay tuned, I do want to talk about Tatum's legacy in a future video, and I got a lot more coming down the pipeline. This has been Above the Net. Please subscribe and I'll see you all next time.